Hi, welcome. Yes, Blog Talk Radio and Speaker.com, and they're both slash coming into the higher calling or Joycelyn Linton's tracks. So, welcome to the show. Once again, this is Joycelyn Linton coming into the higher calling, and today's date is the 6th month of the 20th day, 2017, and the time now is 12:41 p.m. British Standard Time. And it's a nice sunny day. It's very warm here in the UK. All sorts of happening because of, I'm going to say, the terrible atrocities. It depends what side of the coin. If we're going to take it from the lower consciousness, the lower awareness, and that is the awareness of the Lord, the awareness of His kingdom, the kingdom of God, and the kingdom of heaven. Okay, we're going to say these terrible, or we're going to say the atrocities that has taken place in the UK these past 3 weeks. There was some massacre. People's lives were suddenly snapped. They were just going about their daily business in the most innocent way. In Manchester, we heard where there was a pop concert. Ariana Grande was singing, and at the end of it, somebody exploded a bomb, and those who were nearby, parents was coming to collect their children, who was ever at that spot. Hey, their lives was taken away. Then we heard in London here, West London, people just innocently getting along with their lives, or they've gone to sleep in the nighttime, 1 o'clock. And there was a blazing inferno that just took over the building. And there were those who lost their lives, those who escaped to tell the story, and definitely they're telling the story. But at the end of it all possessions were lost. People just ran out in their socks, in their bare feet, grabbing their children and their wives and partners, and just kind of just flying out of the building in the best way they can, whether they had to jump out. So, and then that very evening, there was another shootout in Finsbury Park, North London. But the week before, there was a shootout and I don't really like to say the word shootout as I'm here prophesying, but another set of lives was snapped away at London Bridge. In the evening, people just walking past. So it just seems to be an attack on the innocent, bypassers, people who are getting caught up in the crossfire of the mind, of another's mind, you see. And, it's just to understand, to put it all into a format that we can grapple with what is actually happening. How can this atrocity just happened to innocent? So I'm going to say innocent people just going about their daily lives, or they're just being alive, is suddenly their life is being snapped away. For people just cannot understand the reasons behind it. There's no rhyme and reason. And the worst thing about it, in that, because there's no rhyme or reason, who do we attack? Who do we retaliate with? That's the worst kind of weaponry going on, more than the actual taken of life, but it's why and when and how and what for. No one can put the pieces together. So therefore, who do you retaliate? It's so skillfully, cleverly put together that who do you go and hit on the head with your baton? Who can you have that caveman warfare with? So what do people do? Do the culprits get away with it? Does those who's causing this get away with it? So what can we do in this instance? Well, the people are coming together in love and unity and support, and on all the occasions, the country has kept silence, have collaborated together, given donation, given their voluntary help, has made the news wide open so that people can be aware of what's happening, and they come up with a positive note that we shall overcome this, we shall stand up. and we won't allow it to deter us. We will continue with our daily lives. We'll continue moving in those areas, you see. So people are believing that there is a stronger weaponry than to actually retaliate. And I'm wondering if that is a bigger plan too. When we don't know who the culprit is, and we don't know who to go and attack, or who to take the wooden baton, like the time of in the Caveman. I'm trying to think of this comic of Laurel and this comic that we used to watch as a young child, and you take the wooden baton and you knock him across his head, like, get your mind together, get your mind together. And that's exactly what is happening, folks. Can I tell you that as a messenger of the Lord, that is exactly what is happening. The message that is coming through from the heavens is, get your mind together, because the earth is being called to come higher. We are coming into the higher calling, and I'm saying, I'm jumping the barrel. I'm going right to the end of the story, and I said, yes, answer the call in holiness. That's what the Lord is calling us, to come into His holy rest, because the earth is coming into the seventh day rest, and that's 1,000 years of holy sabbatical rest. The Lord has promised to redeem us, and that's His second promise. He made the first promise through the prophet Moses to His people, saying that He will multiply them, make them fruitful, and take them into the promised land, so long as they are obedient to Him, abide by His laws, His decree and statute, and eventually to be able to keep His commandments, you see. And the marvelous thing about this, and people, and stay with me, but I'm going to keep on to Hannah. The marvelous thing about it is yesterday, Sunday, I was in the park near to Grenfell Tower, where the Inferno blaze took place. I was in the local park called Avondale Park, and I was doing my usual Sunday morning podcast, and I began to realize something significant about Moses, you see, because Moses, he met up with the priests before he actually had the vision of the angel that came to him through the burning bush. And so therefore he must have had some consecrated time under the priests to be able to have the interaction and meet up with the angel, who then the Lord called him. God came to him and spoke to him in the burning bush. So what I'm saying is, being under the priests, Moses would have undergone some process. He had to undergo a processing format to be ready for the Lord. And the Lord has shown me this time and time as I read the scriptures, that He ordains that we undergo a processing. And that means He wants us to mature spiritually and soulfully, so we are ready for His sabbatical rest. And the Lord speaks to the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 17, and He says, take no baggage over into the Sabbath. So we have to be clean. And there are people who use the word karma, all our karma. So any sins that we have committed, any wrongs that we have committed in our spiritual and soul journey, they have to be cleansed from us. That when we enter the Sabbath, we enter in complete purity and serenity and righteousness of the Lord. And because in the kingdom of God, there's no evil. And another thing I was reading in Matthew, Jesus said, I don't come to change the prophets and their laws. I come with a sword, you see. Jesus said, I come with a sword. That means He's coming to fight. That means, folks, that there is a war taking place right now as I speak, and we are evidently seeing the manifestation of it. You see, because Jesus said, I come with a sword. And that's in Matthew, but I can't give you the exact. I was reading between Matthew 5 to 9. You see, but it was the last message that the Lord spoke to me. And he says, go to my people. So I have to let the Lord lead me to his people. He said, go and minister to my people, like Jesus did. He didn't say like Jesus, but he said, go and minister to my people, because it's my people that will save the rest of the people in the world, the rest of the nations, you see. So I asked the Lord to lead me, and then I had to really pray to make a start, you see. So when I went to the meeting, when I went to the tower that was set alight, I just began to speak to the people, you know. I began to speak to the people, and they listened, they responded. And then one person went, and they were playing some music, and went and shut the music down. But the Lord also showed me in Matthew that that's what it's going to be like. You're going to have the opposition, but still go ahead and speak to my people, because the rest of the world can be saved through my people. So I know the Lord speaks on a spiritual level, on a soulful level. So I asked the Lord to lead me through the Spirit. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that through the flesh. I'm not going to say it's this group of people and it's this group of people and it's this group of people. Okay. I allow the Lord to lead me through the Spirit to his spiritual people. So, as I said, Jesus said in the scriptures that he's coming with the sword. And I ask you to type into Google, you see. Type into Google. If I can talk and type at the same time, I may try to do that. And Jesus said, I come with the sword. Are you hearing me, folks? Jesus said, I'm not coming in peace. That's what he said, yes. He said, I'm not coming with peace. That's my Father's duty. Yes? And that's another big understanding. Jesus comes with the sword. Let me see if I can get the scriptures again in Matthew. Yeah, so Jesus said, it's my Father that will come with peace, but I come with sword. Yeah. Not peace, but a sword. Do not suppose that I have. So that's Matthew 10:34. Okay, Matthew 10:34. So if I go over to the book of Matthew 10:34. Okay, and excuse me. So if I go over to the book of Matthew, chapter, I said I read from 5 to 9, but I must have peeked over to 10 as well. So here is King James Version on the computer says, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. You see? So that's Matthew 10:34. And so my eyes is just flickering on the Bible in front of me here. And I just wanted to see, so if I take it from verse 32 of chapter 10, it says here, whosoever shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father who is in heaven. Okay? And then verse 34 of chapter 10, Matthew, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and